Those idiots will never find my hidden base inside this pyramid. Let's take care of business here first, then get inside.
So did Dr. Eggman build the pyramid to put his base in, or did he sort of commandeer it from whatever pharaoh might have been buried in there? Either way, I have a lot of questions. Hello everybody, it's me, your good friend Sparky, and welcome back to the Sonic Adventure 2 Chronological Let's Play. Our next part of the story takes place in the Sand Ocean with Dr. Eggman. Well, he's on his way back to his base so he can make his way to the space colony Ark and meet Shadow there. Though this level kinda emphasizes a point of how the early parts of Sonic Adventure 2, like in a chronological setting, the early parts of the story are really dominated by the dark side of the story. After City Escape and Wild Canyon, and aside from one or two boss fights, there's not really a lot going on for the hero characters. It's a little interesting how it's set up. The early parts of the story are very centered around the dark characters, then you get a little further in and it becomes very centered on the hero characters, and then things sort of balance out towards the end, where there's an even amount of things going on for both sides of the story. But I suppose we'll get to those parts of the story when we get to them. Right now, we are focusing on Sand Ocean, and things have gotten a little trickier for the good doctor here. Where his first level was very safe, very much just a romp through a military base and destroying everything in his path, this particular level shows that you gotta be a little more careful sometimes when you're going through these stages. There is platforming involved in these shooter stages, and this stage really helps emphasize that because there's instant death sand everywhere. Like, absolutely everywhere. You make one little error, you're just a little not cautious, and you fall in the sand, and it results in instant life loss. You cannot recover. And the first time I did sort of play through this and try to record things, I definitely fell in a lot. But thankfully, things went a lot better this time around. It also gives me an opportunity to talk a little more about the shooting character gameplay, because most of the first episode when we were playing as Eggman, I was really more focused on trying to explain what the project was about. Rather than just straight up having the Sonic tradition of, you know, you collect rings, and if you take a hit when you don't have rings, you lose a life. Instead, the shooter characters have a life bar down at the bottom of the screen there. When you take a hit, you lose your rings, and you also lose some of your life. And to get life back, you either have to find medpack items, or you have to collect rings. It's every 10 rings, or 11 rings, something like that. Every few rings you collect, it increases your life by a small amount. And you only really lose a life whenever your life hits 0. So, Dr. Eggman here, in his Eggwalker mech, he's a bit durable, more durable than your average Sonic character, I'd say. It definitely gives you a few more points of forgiveness when you're playing through these levels, because sometimes in these stages you can definitely get swarmed with enemies. It's a bit of a thing, honestly. And it's still just like a whole different dynamic, too, from what Gamma was like in Sonic Adventure DX, now that you don't have to worry about the time limit either. Of course, if you're going for it like a good level rank, you still have to worry about the time limit and worry about your score and things like that. But for the most part, the shooter levels this time around are much more casual. And we still get cool parts like that where you get to go over ramps and go flying in traditional Sonic tradition. that sentence made sense, yeah. This level also sort of teaches you how certain things count towards your score combo and certain things don't. Like when you're blowing up these dynamite packs, they count towards your combo and you can get points for them. So if you target all of the packs at once, you can definitely get a higher score bonus. But other obstacles do not count towards that, and you just have to pick and choose your battles, I guess, when it comes to scoring a good score and getting a good rank. And just like that, the level is over. I guess not just like that, that did take 5.5 minutes. These levels do tend to be longer than others, but they're still fun.
That wasn't so difficult.
Nah, it wasn't difficult at all.
With the Chaos Emerald in the Space Colony Ark. I've got to find out just what's going on up there.
We interrupt this broadcast for an important news flash. There has been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank today. Mysteriously, the only thing that was stolen was the Chaos Emerald. According to eyewitnesses at the scene, the suspect was identified as the world-renowned hero, Sonic the Hedgehog. The suspect was seen fleeing the scene, destroying the reserve's guard robots in his path. Stay tuned for more details.
Sounds more like the work of Shadow.
How pathetic. Find them before they escape! Maria!
What?
Shadow, I beg of you, please,
Maria!
do it for me. For all the people on that planet. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I still remember what I promised you. For the people of this planet, I promise you revenge.
One of my favorite lines from this game. And now we are going back to Shadow the Hedgehog on Radical Highway. Possibly the second most iconic stage in this game next to City Escape. So iconic, it made it into the 3DS version of Sonic Adventure, not Sonic Adventure, Sonic Generations, excuse me. The 3DS version of Sonic Generations, even though Sonic never actually visits this stage. And Radical Highway is going to give us an opportunity to see for the first time a returning feature from Sonic Adventure DX, that being the character equipment upgrades. In Sonic Adventure DX, when you were exploring the adventure fields, you get to occasionally find upgrades for your characters to give them extra abilities and things like that. And you can see me failing spectacularly at getting this particular upgrade at first, and it took me a few tries to actually get it. But right here, by building up a spin dash and jumping properly, you can make it across this gap and grab the Flame Ring. Our very first upgrade of the game. This allows you to use the powerful Fire Somersault. Very fancy. Now, Shadow gains a bit of a flame aura around his somersault move, which allows him to break metal boxes. You couldn't do that before. You could only break the wooden boxes. And pretty much every character has the ability to, or rather, can get an upgrade that allows them to start breaking those metal boxes. So, I guess it should be said, technically we are not supposed to have this power-up yet. You are supposed to be able to traverse that gap more easily with a different upgrade for Shadow that you would come back to this level to get after you get it. But it's easy enough to kind of cheese it and get the first upgrade for Shadow much earlier, get this first upgrade for Shadow much earlier than you were really supposed to be able to. But the upgrades in general, every character has a few, but since there are no adventure fields in this game, all of the upgrades are hidden about in the levels themselves. And there is one upgrade per level per character, I believe. I don't think there are any stages that don't have an upgrade hidden in them. Some of them you have to get and are necessary for completing the stage the first time. Others, you do have to get other upgrades and then come back to a level to get them. Much as explained, we were supposed to return to Radical Highway later to get the Flame Ring, but it's a little tricky. You do have to get the timing down pretty exactly, but it's not too terrible, and it only took me, I think, 3 attempts of falling into a pit and perishing. But either way, we got our first upgrade, and there are going to be many more upgrades to come, I promise. But yes, Radical Highway itself, definitely one of my favorite levels in the game, and really sort of emphasizes Shadow's kind of epicness. I don't know how to describe it. His coolness factor. I mean, the level has Radical right in the name, and you honestly can't get much more radical than Shadow the Hedgehog, I feel. And also importantly, in the opening cutscenes and stuff, we get a little more look into Shadow's backstory here, and how he's sort of, kind of a tragic character in the Sonic franchise. Shadow's sort of origins and his backstory and his sort of motivations in this game really do follow him throughout other games. For better or for worse. For some people, the way Shadow develops over time, it bugs them, it's not that great. But honestly, the way that Shadow has so much story to him and so much dedication to his character development in a lot of ways is part of what really makes me love the character. And hey,
Here we go.
we're done with another level. Radical Highway is done. Shadow gets some delicious points. And he gets a B rank.
Too easy for me.
Far too easy.
This game of tag is boring. I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it on!
Monitor Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Copy that.
And just like that, things shift back towards Sonic the Hedgehog. In the game itself, you would normally play this boss battle right after City Escape, but as far as sort of the chronological order of things, it takes place much, much later than that. They would normally have you play City Escape, fight Bigfoot, and then go right into Wild Canyon with Knuckles. And, it's not too difficult of a boss, honestly. Doesn't give me a lot of time to talk about it, honestly. But, there you go. Boss down.
What?
It all starts with this. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
That's the Chaos Emerald! Now I know what's going on. The military has mistaken me for the likes of you. So, where do you think you're going with that emerald? Say something, you fake hedgehog!
Chaos control!
He's fast! Hey, it's not his speed. He must be using the Chaos Emerald to warp.
Shadow. I'm the world's ultimate life form. There's no time for games. Farewell!
Shadow! What is
Stay where you are! Keep your hands up!
Poor Sonic. Time for another cutscene comparison for the cutscene we just watched. Obviously, Sonic meeting Shadow has to be in both sides of the story. But unlike the Knuckles and Rouge cutscene, there's no major music differences and there's no camera angle differences either. For the most part, it's the same scene, though there are a couple differences I noticed. For one, in certain shots the lighting seems to be different, depending on if you're playing the hero story or the dark story. I don't know if that's just something weird that happened with my footage, but at the same time, I feel like it has to be in-game for it to be recorded that way. The other difference is that Shadow's version of the cutscene is slightly shorter. You don't get to see Sonic get arrested at the end of it. Other than that, though, they are basically the same scene. And with that, I'm gonna let the scenes play out and say goodbye for now. Thank you very much for watching the Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, a chronological Let's Play. This is your good friend Sparky signing off for now. I'll catch you later.
Game select.